What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel and podcast network. Noah Hiles coming to you from Chicago, Illinois, on the north side here in Wrigleyville, where the Pirates just concluded a 3-game series against the Chicago Cubs. We could talk about that, or we could talk about probably the bigger story of the day, and that is Konnor Griffin getting a promotion to Double-A Altoona. The Post-Gazette broke this story right after the Pirates 4-3 loss, to the Chicago Cubs Sunday afternoon. So we're going to talk all about that, some of the details that I've learned through my reporting on this story, and what we can expect to see from Griffin in these final 4 weeks plus that remain in the minor league regular season calendar. Before we get into everything, I want to remind everyone to check out all of our work at post-gazette.com. Get yourself a digital subscription if you don't have one already, and check out our print product as well. We print on Thursdays and Sundays. That's where you can read everything about our Pirates coverage and everything else that we write about at the Post-Gazette. We don't just cover sports, although we cover those pretty well. We also cover all the news that goes on in town and the city's surrounding communities. So again, check out all of our work at post-gazette.com. Get yourself a digital subscription if you don't have one already, and also subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed already. So all that out of the way, again, big news of the day. If you're just hearing it now, Konnor Griffin, the number one prospect, not only in the Pirate system, but in all of baseball per MLB Pipeline and Baseball America, the top 2 prospect ranking systems in the sport. He's heading to Double-A Altoona. Now, why is this significant? Well, one, anytime the top prospect in the sport gets promoted up a level, it's a story. But the jump between high A and Double-A is a sizable jump, because we've seen guys in the past, especially prospects of Griffin's caliber, go straight from Double-A to the major leagues. I don't anticipate that happening here, but that's why it's a story. He's only one level of baseball separates him from the major leagues now whenever he arrives in Altoona. So we learned of this Sunday evening, like I said, after the Cubs Cubs defeated the Pirates, I should say, at Wrigley Field Sunday. Gets the promotion. So let's take a look at why the timing, because a lot of people have been banging the drum for this to happen for a while now. Why is it finally happening? Why didn't it happen earlier? So you take a look at the sample sizes here. They're nearly identical. It seemed like the Pirates' plan all along was to see if Konnor Griffin could emulate his production in high A in the same amount of games or same sample size that he did so in low A. He played 50 games for low A Bradenton at the start of the year. He had 231 plate appearances there. He slashed 338, 396 with a 538 or in 563, 536, OPS was 932 over 50 games. Again, 231 plate appearances. So he just played his final game in high A of the season, more than likely, because he's getting promoted. I mean, he could always get demoted. I don't anticipate that happening this season. But his final game was his 51st in high A Greensboro. He had 234 plate appearances there. So just 3 more plate appearances, 1 more game at the next level. So it seemed like that was the Pirates' plan. They saw him. They wanted to see him in a 50-game sample. They probably didn't anticipate promoting him at the start of the season, 50 games in, but he was so good early. They were like, well, let's see where he's at 50 games in. When you have a 932 OPS and you've hit 9 home runs, stole 26 bases, it's time for the next level. And I think that they wanted to see what he could do in a similar sample size at that next level. He plays 1 more game, gets 3 more plate appearances, and his numbers are essentially identical, if not better in some areas. The batting average was a little lower, 325, so 13 points lower. But the on-base percentage is the big difference here. On-base percentage in a higher sample size, 1 more game, 3 more plate appearances, 432 OBP in high A. Now, you can talk about how Greensboro is a hitter-friendly park, but I mean, the fact that this guy was drawing this many walks, and we're going to get into the walk rate in a bit here, is I think the big win for the Pirates' development, or the big key, I guess you should say, as to why Griffin earned this promotion. The slugging went down 26 points, but still was over 500, slugging 510 over that sample, and the OPS was 10 points higher, 942 OPS, and a larger sample size at a higher level. So it's time to go up. He also stole more bases. He stole 33 over that sample size, and I think the other big metrics that you can focus on here, like I said, the first is the walk rate. He walked 6.5% of his plate appearances in low A. which is nothing amazing. That walk rate nearly doubled in high A. He leaves, I think, entering today. I don't have the updated one, but entering today, Sunday, his final game in high A, his walk rate was 12.2%. So a 5.7% increase in walk rate. That's just insane improvement. And that's something that I think played a big factor in his promotion. And also the strikeout rate went down. Not as dramatic as a change from low A to high A, but he struck out in 22.9% of his plate appearances. In low A, it dropped down to 19.2% in high A. So a 3.7% decrease. So this guy just got better. He's getting on base more. His OPS is higher. He's striking out less. He's walking more. He's still hitting for power, hit for 7 home runs, so 2 less in that smaller sample size. But, slugging, like I said, still over 500. And he's stealing more bags. And the defense, which hasn't even been discussed here through all the metric talk, is maybe the best aspect of his game right now. He's probably a big league ready defender as a shortstop. Also a center fielder, which I thought he was going to be at the beginning of the year. And I think the Pirates did too, until they realized that he's probably just as good, if not better, at shortstop. And it's better to have someone his size play that position, especially if he's going to produce that much offensively. So he arrives in Altoona. There are 4 series left. In the minor leagues, they play a 6-game series, just one a week. They start Tuesday. They end that Sunday. So there are 4 series left. So he's got 24 games to play in Double-A. I would bet big money. I'm not allowed to, but I would have to assume he's going to see playing time in all 24 of those games. If not all of them, then darn near every single one of them. If not the playoffs too. The Altoona Curve are in first place in their division in the Eastern League second half standings. So if they can hang on, they get to go to the playoffs, and having a new shortstop will help. Other quick note here as we wrap this up. Konnor Griffin, if he debuts Tuesday, which is the Curve's next game, for their first home game of their upcoming 6-game series, he will be the youngest player in the history of the Altoona Curve. The 3 youngest now, before he's debuted. Number 3 is Tamar Johnson, their current second baseman, the Pirates' first round pick, I believe 4th overall in 2022. He debuted at 20 years old, 2 months and 16 days. Jose Tabata is second youngest to ever play for the Altoona Curve. He debuted with the Curve at 19 years old, 11 months and 27 days. The youngest player in Curve history is Andrew McCutchen. I think you guys have heard of him. He debuted with the Curve at 19 years old, 10 months and 5 days. Should Konnor Griffin be in the lineup Tuesday in Altoona at, the stadium where there's the what's it called? The roller coaster in the background with Tamar Johnson on the other side of the infield. He will be the youngest player in Curve history, 19 years old, 3 months and 26 days. That's how old he will be on Tuesday. And so if he's in the lineup Tuesday, he's the youngest player to have ever played for the Altoona Curve. So this is a big development win so far for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, per both MLB Pipeline and Baseball America. He's the number 1 player in their system, and he's a guy they just drafted last year, 9th overall in last year's draft. Still, just turned 19 this season, and he's 2 levels away from the major leagues. I'm Noah Hiles. Check out all of my work, including our coverage on Konnor's promotion at Post-Gazette.com, and get yourself a digital subscription if you don't have one already. Subscribe to this channel as well, where we have you covered for all things Pirates moving forward.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit Post-Gazette.com.